Our students come to us today with an understanding that the older generations are also coming around to, but a little bit more slowly, and that is that we have to do things with a deep respect for the environment. And so, yes, we have to make projects happen on time and on budget. People are concerned about those, but fundamentally, we're also very concerned about the impact they have on the environment.
You know, ESF has often talked about the campus being a living lab. So, you know, that idea is we're going to try some things. We want to involve students. We're going to learn from those things, and then maybe shift what we're doing or how we're doing it based on the lessons that have learned.
How does a project have impact on the environment? Initial resources that go into a project are significant, and so we have to think about what is it that we're using to build our buildings. And so things like concrete and the cement that goes into concrete and the energy that goes into producing steel are significant energy requirements that we want to understand and only use as needed to make sure the building does what it has to do.
There's a bunch of classes on campus that I think students could engage in, and majors. So when I think about the sustainable energy major that I teach in, we've got capstone classes. We've had students do energy lighting audits for buildings here on campus to help with assessments of changing heating systems and variable speed fans and whatnot for heating systems that have provided, I think, some useful information. So I would hope going forward that those kind of capstone project opportunities in sustainable energy management, I would think construction management students can be very much involved in this as well.
So in the classroom, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to help them understand the technical side. So we go through things like the U.S. Green Building Council's LEED standard for new construction and existing buildings. So the students become very familiar with how to quantify and think about what's the impact in terms of energy, what's the impact in terms of water, what's the impact in terms of materials, what kind of indoor environmental quality do I have here, what am I doing in regard to site and transportation, location. So those are categories in LEED that our students become very familiar with.
And we want to be very intentional about engaging our students in this process going forward. So it's happened already, right? So a good example is the students were involved in this lighting changeover blitz that we did. And so that was a step the students easily saw that was a need. You know, Josh Arnold was able to get some great deals on LED bulbs, and I forget how many hundreds of bulbs they changed over, but working with the folks from physical plant, the students came in on weekends and helped with this massive changeover that occurred, right? So they got to do very hands-on as well as to speak up and say, we need to make these changes, right? We need to get rid of the fluorescent bulbs and put in LEDs.
ESF, we have a group of 10 researchers who are working on something called the Discovery Challenge for Mass Timber. And our group is divided up, and we're looking at the forest resource to make sure that we're doing the right things when we bring the timber out of the forest, that we're developing new products that would be appropriate for the type of timber we have here in the Northeast in New York State. We're doing studies on the life cycle impact, so we want to make sure that we're doing the best we can for both the people who inhabit the buildings, but also for the environment when we use these buildings. So we're building them the proper way to have a minimal impact on the environment. And then the final component is this outreach. So we're running a conference, for instance, to help people understand it, bring people up to speed on it.
I think here at ESF we're generally pretty receptive to wanting and encouraging students to engage in these kind of processes, and you can typically find faculty that will mentor students and have them engage in things that are occurring here on campus.
Rather than just walk out with kind of a textbook understanding of the topic, we want to make sure that our students are ready to answer questions. So in the course that we teach, they're actually working with folks on campus who are ultimately going to be the ones making the decisions, but they're working to help understand what are the barriers. Why can't ESF do this or that? Why can't we go down this path or that path? Understanding some of the challenges that are involved, researching and trying to overcome those challenges, helping maybe the folks on the ESF campus to look at things a little differently than they might have otherwise.